Our journey begins in the post-World War II era, a time of significant economic expansion for Canada. The country was transitioning from a war economy to a consumer one, leading to a surge in demand for goods and services. This heightened demand, coupled with the government's expansionary fiscal policy, laid the groundwork for inflation. As we move into the mid-20th century, inflation continued to be a persistent issue. Despite attempts to mitigate it, the oil crisis of the 1970s sent shockwaves through the Canadian economy. With oil being a significant input in production, the spike in prices led to cost-push inflation, where the increased costs of production were passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. Fast forward to the early 1990s, the Bank of Canada adopted an inflation-targeting regime aimed at maintaining inflation at a steady 2%. This strategy was largely successful, and for nearly 2 decades, inflation remained relatively stable in Canada. However, the turn of the millennium brought a new set of challenges. The global financial crisis of 2008 caused a significant economic downturn. In response, central banks worldwide, including the Bank of Canada, slashed interest rates to stimulate economic activity. While this move was necessary for recovery, it also set the stage for potential inflation. Now, let's jump to the present day. Current inflation rates are the highest they've been in nearly 2 decades, sitting at 4.4% as of September of 2023. This inflation surge is largely attributed to supply shortages and other factors outside the central bank's control. The Bank of Canada has signaled potential interest rate hikes in the near future to address this issue, but it's a delicate balancing act. Too aggressive a stance might risk cutting short the current economic expansion. In summary, the journey of inflation in Canada has been a complex one, shaped by a myriad of factors from global events to domestic policies. From its beginnings in the post-war consumer boom, through the oil crisis of the 1970s, the adoption of inflation targeting in the 1990s, and the challenges of the present day, understanding this history provides valuable insights into the economic landscape of Canada. Whether you're an economist, a student, or just a curious mind, understanding the roots and evolution of inflation is key to comprehending the broader economic picture. So, the next time you hear about inflation rates in the news, you'll have a richer understanding of what it all means. And on that note, we wrap up our journey through the history of economic inflation in Canada. Stay tuned for more insightful explorations into the world of economics.